Right now, first on Fox 21, the murder charges against Barry Morphew have been dropped today.
He is the man prosecutors accuse of killing his wife Suzanne after she vanished on Mother's Day weekend in 2020 from Chaffee County. Prosecutors believe Barry Morphew killed his wife after she said that she was done with their marriage.
Morphew was arrested in May last year, and his murder trial was set to start next week despite Suzanne's body not being found.
Now, although Morphew is no longer under court supervision, that does not mean that his legal troubles are over.
The prosecution's motion to dismiss without prejudice leaves the door open for Morphew to be charged with murder again in the future.
Fox 21's Lauren Scharf was in Fremont County Court today when Morphew heard the news. Lauren.
Yeah, this decision comes just as the trial was supposed to begin in the next 9 days. The prosecution now says it is essential to find Suzanne to charge Morphew with the alleged crime, and law enforcement believe they are close to discovering her body. Barry Morphew walking out of the Fremont County Courthouse with his daughters today with the murder charges against him dismissed without prejudice.
That's what innocence looks like right there.
Morphew had spent 5 months in jail for the alleged murder of his wife Suzanne Morphew and spent $500,000 to get out of jail on bond to await his trial.
Barry and his daughters are relieved, but they're sad because they too want to know where Suzanne Morphew is.
Since her disappearance nearly 2 years ago, Morphew has maintained his innocence. Meanwhile, law enforcement focused their investigation on him.
These charges were false from the beginning. The affidavit that was filed in this case was egregious and wrong and had so many misstatements that carried it through to a preliminary hearing where more lies and perjury were committed in order to get Mr. Morphew wrongfully convicted.
The prosecution filed the murder charge against Morphew on the premise that Morphew had a motive to harm Suzanne after finding out she wanted to leave him. He was also the last person to see her alive, and his inconsistent statements to law enforcement.
There was not any evidence, even close to convicting him of murder of his wife. Instead, what their evidence is that she could have left and/or she could have been abducted.
Investigators believe they are close to finding Suzanne's body in a remote mountainous region near the Morphew's home in Maysville. However, they need more time to safely excavate that area, and right now it's under 5 feet of snow.
Forever they have stated that they don't need a body, that a body is irrelevant. But you need to know that in this case, there has been not a single ounce of physical evidence that has been found connecting Mr. Morphew to this alleged crime.
Eytan is disappointed she couldn't proceed to trial because she was confident she could exonerate Morphew. This despite 4 previously defense-filed motions requesting to dismiss the case. Morphew still faces 2 felony charges for voting for Donald Trump on behalf of his missing wife and when he allegedly asked for immunity from the FBI. Those charges will be tried in the Chaffee County Court. Suzanne's sister tells me she is hopeful that they will find Suzanne's body. Guys.
Huge development. Thank you so much. Well, the Chaffee County Sheriff's Office also reacting to the charges being dropped, saying they were disappointed by the dismissal.
In a statement, they added, quote, "While we are disappointed in the delay of the proceedings, we remain unwavering in our commitment to this investigation and the ultimate prosecution of Mr. Morphew." And I'm Scott Gilbert. Right now, first on Fox 21, the murder charges against Barry Morphew have been dropped today.
He is the man prosecutors accused of killing his wife Suzanne after she vanished on Mother's Day weekend in 2020 from Chaffee County. Prosecutors believe Barry Morphew killed his wife after she said she was done with the marriage.
Morphew was arrested in May of last year, and his murder trial was set to start next week, despite Suzanne's body not being found.
The prosecution's motion to dismiss without prejudice means they can try the case again.
Now, Morphew's attorneys are confident that won't happen because they think their client has no connection to the disappearance of Suzanne.
Fox 21's Lauren Scharf was in Fremont County when the ruling was made. So why did the prosecution decide to do this so close to the trial date?
They believe investigators are close to discovering where Suzanne's body is. The prosecution thought their search and finding of her body would have been concluded well before the trial, but they claim weather complicated the efforts. Investigators believe Suzanne is located in a remote mountainous region nearby the Morphew home in an area with 5 feet of snow right now. You can see here how happy Barry Morphew and his daughters are as they left the Fremont County Court today. His defense attorney said the charges against Morphew were false from the beginning and the arrest affidavit was outrageous and wrong. The prosecution had filed the murder charge against Morphew on the premise of his motive to harm Suzanne after learning she wanted to leave him. He was the last person to see her alive, and his inconsistent statements to law enforcement. The judge had issued many sanctions on the prosecution, including not allowing them to have some of their witnesses testify as experts because they made discovery violations.
They absolutely dismissed this case at this point because they knew they were going to lose this trial and Mr. Morphew was going to be acquitted and exonerated. The Morphews right now are going to live their life and grieve. They're missing mother and they're missing wife. And they have to do something to try and find the means to move on.
Morphew does still face a couple of felony charges, including attempting to influence a public servant and forging a government-issued document. Suzanne's sister tells me she is trusting in God's perfect timing that all will be revealed. Suzanne's family was in agreement of the dismissal and are hopeful investigators will find her body, guys.